but it's good to have you back. How was the trip, man? You're on African
trip was
safari. You're out
awesome.
there with silverback gorillas and like riding zebras and eating snakes. What were you doing?
Good God, it was amazing. Those for you and those are for you. And for those of you who should be liking the YouTubes and the YouTube short, I'd like to give a shout out to Vote Vets. I'm wearing my new Vote Vets 250 years and still no kings from Vote Vets, a big veterans organization we do a little work for. They sent me some swag. Shout out to John Soates. This may be the softest shirt. Anyway, look at here. John Soates, Vote Vets. So no, I didn't wear any Vote Vet stuff over in Africa, but we ended up in Rwanda. And I know a lot of you keep hearing me reference this gorilla episode. Let's call it the episode. Maybe we call it the situation.
The situation.
If you listen to the new Kevin Hart comedy special, he talks about this exact thing that I did. He said, and it was funny, he took his family to Rwanda. They trekked into the woods. They found a family of gorillas, and he kept expecting to find some glass. Like he would be behind the glass between him and the gorillas. Well, I'm here to tell you, they ain't no glass. And
what makes somebody think that's a good idea? Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Dude, because it's once in a lifetime getting to sit face to face with an organism, if I use the organisms right, that's 98.6% human. Like they share that much DNA with us. And there's only probably 700 of these gorillas. These aren't the lowlands. These are the highland gorillas. And so I had spent my whole life watching the National Geographic and all, and to get to go sit with these majestic creatures with all due respect and not making light of it, it was really, really fucking awesome. And Rwanda's figured out a way to make money off of it and to regulate it where they protect them. So they take this money that you give them and they pay for all the land. They pay for all the land on their side of the mountain. And now they're trying to extend the habitat by buying more farmland from farmers so that these apes have more places. So for those of you who want to go see the gorillas, first of all, it ain't a poor man's sport. I'm putting that out there right now before Mike Madrid starts giving me shit about growing up in a trailer house and me crying poor all the time. It costs $1,500 a piece, Mike, to go trek up and sit with the gorillas. And you only get an hour once you get up there. Now, wait.
$1,500 an hour.
It gets better. There's several families of these things. You all get together inside the Gorilla Volcano National Park with all of these guys. They've got dudes, Mike. Here's a job you need. That's out there in the jungle 24 hours a day trekking these things. They know where these gorillas are at all time. So in the morning, we all get together and they figure out, well, these fat people, these smokers, fat, McDonald's eating Americans, we should send them on the short tour because they'll never make it up the side of this mountain. Folks that are more in shape, you go halfway up the mountain. And then the extreme people that they don't tell you about none of this, but this is how it goes down. You do the longer trek straight up a mountain to go find these gorillas. Now there's somebody radioing and they know. So anyway, I won't get into all that. It was fantastic, but I will tell you about the episode, and there were several. My group of gorillas used to be part of a group of gorillas that was 35 strong. Well, they had a conflict in the group, and a big chunk of them broke off. And 4 silverbacks took 22 of the women and said, we're going to go create our own thing, leaving the old hand with like 7, 8 girls, and they went started their own troop. Well, that's who we were trekking in to find. And I knew right away a group with 4 silverbacks and Chuck Rocha was going to be a problem. Because I ain't much on following directions, and I don't like some silverback to tell me what I can and can't do. Once we get there, we find them. I shit myself because they're just there, and you just sit with them. You can smell them, you can hear them, everything. There was a silverback who walked out of into the bamboo, looked directly at me. He's sitting there. You can see the steam coming out of his breath, like it is that chilled up there. And he's looking at me. He's looking at the bamboo, and he steps into the forest and grabs 2 big bamboo trees and just yanks them down, breaks it in half because they're eating the green stuff, looks at me, I look at him, and then here he comes. And I'm like, motherfucker. So he is now walking right at me, and I'm crouched down. I'm doing what they tell me to do. And about that time, I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's the tour guide pulling me away from this gorilla. Now, I ain't approaching him. He's approaching me. So now I'm moving. I'm trying to record this. I'm like, if I'm going to die, Mike Madrid going to want to put this on TV. So I'm trying to record me dying. I turn it off because I freak a little bit. And then I realize the old boy, he hip checks me a little bit. And then motherfucker sits down right behind me. like almost in my back pocket. So I turned my camera back on, and I've got the camera in my face showing him over my shoulder, sitting there now looking at me. And now the guy's got both hands on my back, and he pulls me away from this gorilla. That was just one of the things that happened. 20 minutes. So I sit there and I take some pictures of him. I do all the things.
By the way, just for the record, my money's on the gorilla 100 times out of 100 in that fight.
Whatever. You haven't seen me. I'm a good brawler. But anyway, he was strong when you watch him pull down a tree. So then I'm watching the families. And then, I shit you not, I am 20 minutes, 30 minutes into this thing. And then here come another one. Silverback sees me. Here he come. And I'm backing up now. Like I don't want no shit. And then he walks right by Ebony. Now, in my mind, he pats her on the ass. Because that's what I think he would do. But I don't think he pats her on the butt because he's just a gorilla. But now I think I want some trouble with this gorilla.
What is wrong with you, dude? What is wrong with you?
And now, I'm now going to go after this gorilla because he's done got up right next to my woman. Now they're tempting me. Now they want some of me. I'm just letting this be known. I got video of this too, Andres. I will send you when he walked by Ebony. Too close. Too close to my woman because now he wants to challenge me. But the good news about all of this, Mike, is that there was no fisticuffs. I didn't have to fight a gorilla. We got some great pictures, and it was life-changing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
come on, man.
I want to see the video. I want to see the pictures. We're going to put them all up here. If you're watching on YouTube, I want your comments, people. I want feedback to see.
Chuck Rocha gets 4 silverbacks.
Zamir him. How is it you're threatened by a gorilla coming after your woman? Like, how does that even cross your mind?
Well, Ebony is particularly good looking. And in my mind, he had seen me looking at his women. And this is how my mind works because I'm elementary and like a caveman at heart.
Yeah, because you're like one DNA strand away from this guy.
He is 98.6% DNA with regular humans, but me and this old boy are way closer than that.
Yeah.
Because I had been sitting there with his girls.
Were you checking out his girls? Were you checking out his women?
I was. They were right in front of me. I was taking pictures of them. I probably were too close.
Gorgeous women, right? You're looking at
gorgeous black women. One of them had a beautiful little black baby. Oh my God. And then here he comes. Now that's really what the guide said probably happened is I got too close. So he got between me and them. That's no shit. I got video of him walking and then bowing up like this. For those of you on the YouTube. And then he turns and then he walks by Ebony. That's when this thing went down. So anyway, I'm going to get Andres all this video. It's going to be great. I got some great pictures. Go to Rwanda and see the gorillas. Do not pay to go to the Congo and see the gorillas because that's where you get disappeared in the Congo. I learned this the hard way. Also, you can do this in Uganda, but I would recommend doing it in Rwanda. I learned this. And Mike, Rwanda is the cleanest, nicest country I've ever been to. Get this shit. Remember we talked about in the last episode the genocide and all the crazy stuff they'd lived through and me going to church and getting some holy water put on me? The guy who runs it, now people call him a friendly dictator because he's been really trying to reconcile the country, but he don't really stand for an election and he always wins, that kind of thing. Once a month, Mike Madrid, he makes everybody in the country come out of their house and pick up trash. And that's all they do all day. And then at the end of the day, the communities get together. They pick the trash up and have communal eating and hanging out where you know your neighbors and you do your thing. And now there's other people that just clean up all the time. There's not a speck of trash anywhere. These people, Mike, don't have cars. Few of them have cows. They're hauling banana stalks on bicycles. It's so poor. But that doesn't mean it has to be dirty. It's the cleanest place I'd ever seen. Talking about humanity and learning some things and figuring out things. Like, I'm sure there's a good and bad side on it, but that's what really struck me about Rwanda was the work that we've been doing down there. We work with a nonprofit called Global Gain. They do a bunch of stuff with young women and helping them with career placement and schooling and stuff. And we went, shout out to Red Rocks. We went to the village at Red Rocks and me and Ebony made banana beer out of bananas. And then we did some dancing and all that stuff. But I could do a podcast for 2 hours about all the shit we've seen. Then we went to Tanzania, do this and go see that. We went to the Serengeti and saw the Great Migration, Mike, with the wildebeest and the zebras. We got to the southern part of the Serengeti when the rains got there, so we got to see the calving. These wildebeest just started having calves. Now, I grew up with cattle, and when we got there, the guide was like, You see how fat all these wildebeest are? You can see their bellies. He goes, they all are full of babies. And they'll start having babies any moment because this grass is really green. That's why they're coming down here. And I shit you not, 2 days later, there was babies everywhere. So it was really, really cool. We got to see a lion, a whole bunch of lions, a whole bunch of elephants. So I was like a kid in a candy store. I survived is the name of the game because guess what, Mike? They won't let me out of the car. In the safari, when you want to go chase a cheetah, they won't allow it. I found that out.
Probably a good idea. Welcome to this episode of Wild Kingdom on the podcast. This is not the way I thought the show was going to start, but it's the show we deserve. It's why we love Chuck, and all this feedback that we get is international correspondent feedback on the vote. I love paying attention to and watching your international travel.
Subscribe wherever you do all your subscribing. And until next week, y'all be good and enjoy the gorilla video.